The Globo network posted a loss of 41 million Brazilian reais in 2022. For a few years now, the network has been showing negative results, and its revenue, which once reached 3.1 billion reais, has been operating in the red for the second consecutive year. The crisis at Globo has been worsening each year, leading to significant layoffs, property sales, and desperate measures. All these actions indicate one thing: Globo is really facing bankruptcy. But what led the country's largest broadcaster to such a desperate point? In today's video, you will understand more and finally get the answer to why Globo is going bankrupt. Welcome to the Visionary Businesses channel, where we always bring you the best videos on finance and technology. If you're not already subscribed, make sure to subscribe now and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos. If you enjoyed the topic of this video, please leave a like and answer the following question in the comments. Do you watch any programs, soap operas, or sports on Globo? I'm very interested in the results of this small survey. Now, without further ado, let's dive straight into the video. The Globo Network. The history of Rede Globo de Televisão began in 1925 when Roberto Marinho, then 19 years old, helped his father, Irinho Marinho, found the newspaper A Noite in Rio de Janeiro. After his father's death in 1925, Roberto took over the newspaper's management and began expanding the family's business in the field of communication. Roberto Marinho recognized the potential of television in the 1960s and decided to invest in this new media. On April 26, 1965, TV Globo was officially inaugurated with the broadcast of the program Domingo de Gala, initially restricted to the city of Rio de Janeiro but soon expanding to other regions of the country. In its early years, Globo faced many challenges and fierce competition from other broadcasters. However, Roberto Marinho's business acumen and the company's innovative vision helped Globo establish itself as one of Brazil's leading broadcasters. During the 1970s, Globo heavily invested in its own productions, including soap operas, variety shows, and journalism. Its soap operas, such as Gabriela and Dancing Days, were great successes and became audience phenomena at the time, bringing a loyal audience to the network. Globo was also a pioneer in news coverage, launching Jornal Nacional in 1969, which became the country's leading news program and provided information to Brazilians for decades. In the 1980s, Globo continued to expand and diversify its programming. New productions were launched, such as highly acclaimed miniseries, and the network even gained a presence in the international market by exporting its soap operas to various countries. Several programs, soap operas, and miniseries stood out and became true phenomena of popularity and impact. For example, the soap opera Roque Santero from 1985 was a milestone in Brazilian television history. Written by Dias Gomes, it broke audience records and became the biggest success of its time, addressing political and social issues in a different way. The soap opera Tieta from 1989, based on the novel by Jorge Amado, captivated the audience with its engaging storyline and charismatic characters, addressing issues of sexual freedom and female empowerment. In the 1990s and 2000s, Globo solidified its position as the audience leader in Brazil by heavily investing in cutting-edge technology, expanding its news coverage, and increasing its regional presence through affiliates across the country. Soap operas like O Clone in 2001, Caminho das Indias in 2009, and its latest success Avenida Brasil in 2012 enchanted Brazilian viewers with engaging storylines, impeccable writing, Hollywood-worthy direction, and unprecedented image quality. During this period, the company, already established as the country's main broadcaster, consistently dominated the ratings, leaving competitors such as Band and Record to fight for second place in the Brazilian viewers' screens. However, this success wouldn't last forever, and Globo would soon find itself on the path of decline. The beginning of the end? Globo's highest revenue year was in 2015 when the company earned 3.1 billion Brazilian reais. However, the following year, in 2016, its revenue dropped to 1.9 billion reais, almost half of the previous year's figure. It was during this time that the founder of the network, Roberto Marinho, was facing health issues and becoming increasingly distant from the management of the network until his passing in 2017. Some even claim that Globo started losing its essence after Roberto Marinho's death, but the real reason goes far beyond that. In addition to the network's leadership, audience preferences also shifted. Globo began to see its revenue decline. Coincidentally, in the same year, a company started to gain popularity in Brazil. You must have heard of the famous Netflix. With the popularization of streaming services in Brazil starting in 2016 and 2017, Netflix simply stole the audience not only from Globo but from all the TV networks in the country. At that time, practically everyone was using Netflix, which offered a vast catalog of successful series and movies, along with the convenience of watching anything at any time at a low cost. It was only natural for Brazilians to shift away from traditional TV. Thus, Globo witnessed its viewers migrating for the first time, not to SBT or Record, its traditional competitors, but to a streaming service that the network didn't even realize could cause such damage. However, the loss of viewership wasn't the only factor that brought Globo to the brink of bankruptcy. To understand this, we first need to grasp: how does Globo make money? Globo's main channel is broadcasted over the air, meaning it is available for free throughout Brazil. To generate revenue from its programming, the company relies on advertisers interested in showcasing their products or services to its viewers. For a long time, free-to-air television was the main means of communication, and various companies invested millions of dollars for just a few seconds of exposure on the most watched programs. However, with the popularization of the internet, and especially social media, free-to-air television has been losing its space as a showcase for companies, for several reasons. On the internet, advertisers don't need to reach everyone watching a program and can tailor their ads to a specific segment of the population, something that was extremely difficult on television. Companies can now advertise to a specific audience with a specific age and specific interests, being much more precise in their advertising campaigns. In this way, the results obtained are infinitely superior, and investing in ads on platforms like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok has another advantage: the reduced cost. When investing in television, it is necessary to pay a typically $1 million amount for the ad to be aired. On the aforementioned platforms, the ad is displayed, and the advertiser only pays when a potential customer shows interest and clicks on it. This makes advertising much cheaper, and the expenditure is also targeted, meaning the company only pays when someone is interested in their product or service and clicks on their ad. With all these advantages, it is not difficult to deduce that companies now prefer to use the millions of dollars that were going to TV Globo for internet advertising, where they can acquire customers at an infinitely lower cost than television. This change in advertisers' behavior, along with the loss of viewership to streaming platforms, has been the main reason for Globo's decline in recent years. Is Globo going bankrupt? The constant decline in its revenue, along with some recent actions by the network, strongly indicate that yes, Globo is going bankrupt. The first evidence that the company was facing difficulties came in 2021 when Globo sold its building in São Paulo for 522 million Brazilian reais and started paying rent to continue with its studios in the capital city. In 2021, the network presented its first negative revenue result, with an estimated loss of 121 million Brazilian reais. After this loss, the company, which had already been cutting costs, further reduced its staff and operations, even ceasing to broadcast sports events characteristic of the network, such as Formula One and the Copa Libertadores. Several presenters and actors who earned million-dollar salaries were also laid off, and those who remained in the company experienced considerable salary adjustments, with much lower values than they used to receive. Even with all these measures, the cost-cutting was not enough to make Globo profitable, as last year, in 2022, the company recorded a loss of 41 million Brazilian reais. After another year in the red, the company is now divesting itself of another property, this time in Rio de Janeiro, a building that was a symbol of the company, its historic headquarters. The building, which had been owned by Globo since its foundation in 1965, was previously used for marketing, press relations, and commercial departments, and is considered a milestone in the company's history. Now it will be transformed into a luxury condominium in the south zone of Rio de Janeiro. Although the company has various divisions and is present in almost the entire country, and has even tried to modernize by launching its own streaming service, it seems that the company is indeed heading towards bankruptcy. And perhaps it is too late for the network to compete with new means of communication and, especially, with the advantages that the internet offers to advertisers. But what do you think about Globo's decline? In your opinion, what was lacking for the company to keep up with the technological changes that have occurred recently? Or do you believe that there may be another reason for Globo's bankruptcy? Please share your opinion in the comments. I would really like to know what you think. Thank you very much for watching until the end. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and activate the notification bell to stay updated here on Visionary Businesses. A big hug, and see you in the next video.